What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel. Now, the January transfer window is fast approaching, and wherever you look at the moment as an Arsenal fan, you cannot escape all the experts and pundits and football fans alike desperate to tell you that even though Arsenal are in a good position at the top of the league, 1 point clear of Liverpool and Aston Villa, they're not going to be able to win the league this season unless they go out and get a 20-goal-a-season striker. What Arsenal really need, they tell you, is a 20-goal-a-season striker. Is there a more fatuous and irritating opinion ever expressed about football? At the moment, I really don't think so, and here's why. So forgive me if what I'm about to say is really basic and obvious and shouldn't really need saying, but I feel I'm being driven to it. You cannot win a game of football without scoring goals. They are fundamentally the most important metric in scoring points. Without goals, you can't win games, therefore you can't win points, and you certainly can't win leagues. As a result, a player who consistently scores a number of goals that will make a meaningful impact in the 38-game season and therefore secure you points towards a title is hugely important and highly sought after. And just saying that Arsenal need a 20-goal-a-season striker to get over the line and win the league is a ridiculously obvious point. But my question to you, first of all, is which team do you feel does not need a 20-goal-a-season striker? Last season, 3 of the 20 teams in the Premier League had a 20-goal-a-season striker. Erling Haaland, who, even though Man City will deny it, is on £1 million a week because scoring goals is that important. Harry Kane, who since transferred over to Bayern Munich from Tottenham, where he is on a rich goal-scoring vein. And look, let's face it, he is a proven goal-getter and worth much more than the money Bayern paid for him. There was never a chance he was coming to Arsenal. But the other one is Ivan Toney, and everyone's telling us that Ivan Toney is a 20-goal-a-season striker. Point of order. First of all, he did score 20 goals last season, but the one he scored against us shouldn't have counted, so I make that 19. Therefore, he doesn't really qualify for this list. But if you think that's just me being sour and salty, fine, have it. He did score 6 penalties. Now, I'm going to come back to Ivan Toney because he's the player everybody's talking about. And I think there's a reason why, beyond the fact that they're just trying to wind me up, right? But the idea that we need a 20-goal-a-season striker, but nobody else does. Man City don't because they've got Erling Haaland. Brentford do because they haven't had Toney for 5 months. Harry Kane now plays in Germany. So there are at least 18 teams, surely you could concede, that need a 20-goal-a-season striker. So why is it Arsenal? Well, because we have title ambitions. And as everybody knows, nobody ever wins the league without a 20-goal-a-season striker. Well, let's have a look at that. In the last 10 years, it's absolutely true to say that 7 of those leagues were won by teams who have a 20-goal-a-season striker. And I did say at the beginning, it is really an important part of the game, scoring goals. So if you can find a player who can do it, by all means. So last season, Manchester City did win the title with a 20-goal-a-season. Well, they had a Erling Haaland 36-goal-a-season striker with 7 penalties. But the season before that, and the season before that, they didn't have a 20-goal-a-season striker, and they still won it. Liverpool, the year they won it, didn't have a 20-goal-a-season striker. Now, I know that more often than not, having a player that scores you 20 goals will lead to a league. But it's never as simple as that either. Only 17 people have scored more than 20 goals in the last 10 years. And I want to go through this list with you because the vast majority only score 20 goals in one season. And I want to point out straight away that Arsenal have had 20-goal-a-season strikers before. We've had Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We've had Alexis Sanchez. We didn't win the league either of those seasons. It's obviously not the only thing you need to be a Premier League winning team. But here's another fact that should throw the cat among the pigeons a little bit. Harry Kane has scored 20 goals a season on 6 occasions. Heung-min Son has scored 20 goals a season once. So 7 times Tottenham have had a player who can score 20 goals a season and still not won the league. And here's the other thing. We're all trying to sign 20-goal-a-season strikers. When we bought Jesus, it wasn't because we thought he'd never do it. He's never played 38 games a season, and we kind of might have figured that if he did, But it's also about goal involvement with him. He contributes more goals. The fact that he drops deep allows for space where players behind can run in and score goals. We get a better goal contribution from Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, you name it. And Kai Havertz is scoring now. But we're not the only team, surely, that could do with a 20-goal-a-season striker. Eddie Nketiah and Gabby Jesus aren't prolific enough. I get it, but, that's not on purpose. We're not asking them to not score. Scoring goals is really difficult. Man United didn't spend 65 million on Rasmus Højlund because they wanted him to not score in 12 games. Tottenham didn't go out and splash 50 million on Richarlison because they desperately didn't want to win the league. Although sometimes you'd be forgiven for thinking it. Alexander Isak at Newcastle, £60 million. They bought him because they thought if they get it right and they build the team right around him, that he can get 20 goals a season, which can propel them to winning the league. We're all trying to do it. There just are not the players out there. Whenever you ask one of these people who they think we should sign who's a 20-goal-a-season player, the same name comes up. It's Ivan Toney. And the same name comes up because there isn't anyone else who does score 20 goals a season. Ollie Watkins hasn't scored 20 goals a season. Aston Villa don't have a 20-goal-a-season player. Mo Salah is on track, could well score 20 goals this season. But there is a reason why he almost went for 200 million to Saudi. Players who score goals are worth their weight in gold. Napoli are in the process of tying down Victor Osimhen with a £111 million release clause. His salary is going to be monumental. And because he scores goals, he's a really great player. Lautaro Martinez scores goals. That's why you can't sign him. There are not the players out there banging in 20 goals for fun who Arsenal are saying no thank you to. Now, I think that we've got a couple in the pipeline. I did a video. I'll link that down in the description. Have a look. But it isn't Ivan Toney. 8 years old, and he's had one season where he scored 20 goals. And as I already said, I would make it 19. But he would come in January. There isn't a full season left in January. He would score us 10 goals. I think there is something to be said here for remembering that whilst goals are essential in winning games, once you have a goal, if you only scored 38 goals and you didn't concede, and I mean, again, not to be overly basic, but winning games is a function of scoring a goal and not conceding. So if you have the tightest defence, you don't need to score as many goals. When Leicester won the league in 2016, they did it scoring 67 goals. It's not necessarily true that when you score the most goals, you always win the league. We broke our goal scoring record last season. And we're doing it without prolific players, but we're playing as a team. And football is a team game. And look, would I like us to go and sign Kylian Mbappe? Yes. Or Lautaro Martinez? Yes. But next time somebody says to you, Arsenal need a 20-goal-a-season striker, can you ask them who it is they're talking about? Because most of the time what happens is you go out and you buy a player you see potential in and you work with him and you try and build him up to becoming a 20-goal-a-season player. Thierry Henry, when we signed him, no one predicted that he would do it. And he did it, I think, in total 5 times. Ian Wright was one of the last times I can remember thinking, yeah, this guy's definitely getting 20 goals a season for us. And he did. But those players cost you record-breaking amounts of money. And surprisingly, no one wants to lose them. So, Arsenal need a 20-goal-a-season striker. I will accept that. Yes, please, can we have one? If you've got any suggestions, I want them in the comments below. If you haven't, then maybe rethink your whole policy. Because the people I've spoken to so far have said things to me like, well, Edu needs to go out and do something. If we're dreaming, if we're wishing, instead of a 20-goal-a-season, how about a goalkeeper that no one ever scores past? That would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Or a person working in the VAR box that does actually know a thing or two about football. If we're dreaming, can we dream a little bit bigger? Can we just have a magic lamp that we rub it and all the other teams concede that we're the best team there's ever been? By far the greatest team the world has ever seen. Anyway, rant over, but please, if you've got an opinion about football, don't just copy someone else saying, oh, you need a 20-goal-a-season striker or you're never going to win the league. We can win the league without a 20-goal-a-season striker. I think we will. I really think we will, you know. And I don't see us going out and getting a striker because apart from anything else, I don't think we've got the 100+ million it would cost us. And if we have, I think we would have spent it in summer. So not to put the dampener on the forthcoming January transfer window, but a note of realism I think is necessary here. Rant over. I think that's the second time I said that. Anyway, thank you so much if you watched this far. I think I need to lie down. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're doing really well at the moment and the community's growing and I'm so thrilled about it. And if you click like, it is Christmas after all, it costs you nothing and it might mean that somebody as intelligent and wonderful as you might also get to watch this video. And that's got to be a good thing, hasn't it? Till I see you again, be lucky. Lots of love.